Never Die, Episode 93, Side B.
All right, well, number 3 for me would have to be, once again, I liked the part of the membership packs. You get a yearly stencil dice bag for that year, as well as what amounts to a backpack to put all your stuff in, which is kind of cool.
I got a rock.
You got a rock?
Never mind.
All right, Liz?
Okay, so we're going to number 3 now?
3.
Okay, cool. Number 3 for me was the serving wenches, Olivia and Jessica. Not the same Jessica as last year, a completely different Jessica, but just as cool. Those girls worked very hard the entire weekend, not only for the people running the games, but for all of us, also sitting in on the games. I never saw either one of them without a smile on their face for the whole weekend. And, considering all of us that were there and the hopping around they were doing, I think that's just amazing. They were just really nice, really sweet, really professional, and
they're great.
Yeah, you can't say enough good things about them. They were just fantastic.
Yeah, if you're a DM, particularly if you're stuck behind the screen running a game, that it's great that when they come up, and offer to get you something. It's
drinks, food, whatever.
When Mike talked about the MCC thing and she came up to him, the first thing I thought was, I could have got fed for free.
Well,
Why didn't I do that?
I mean, some of those DMs and judges that were in the schedule, like Mike Curtis ran 2 games one day, so that's 12 hours of GMing, and I was watching the serving wenches, keep him propped up. Whatever he wanted, he got. That was awesome.
So, kudos to them. Be sure to tip your serving wenches.
Yes, tip them very well. They work hard.
Not tip them over,
Jim?
My number 3 is going to be Artist Row. I know every convention has an artist area, but I really like the way Doug and Mike have them out in the hallway in the main traffic area. And there's just something about this year in particular. I mean, Diesel, Jeff D, Jeff Easley, Darlene, Lloyd Metcalf, a couple people I'm failing to mention right now. It wasn't just them there with tables with their art. I mean, Jeff Easley created a painting at the convention. Lloyd Metcalf was down there knocking art out at his table the whole time. You get to talk and meet to Darlene, and plus Diesel's just cool. He's Blues Traveler cool wherever he goes.
Who's this?
Diesel.
Diesel LaForce.
Yeah. Okay.
He's just my bud because he's just a calm, rational, nice guy individual, which makes him a statistically insignificant percentage of the whole human population and could be used as mathematical proof he doesn't even exist.
Yep.
That's how great Diesel is.
Yeah, he's great, unlike all those other artists.
I didn't say that. He's just my bud.
All righty. Well, Glenn, number 3 then.
Okay, number 3. Before I do number 3, I want to do kind of a sub one that's negative. The fact that there was 0% Errol Otis at this convention.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Yes, Errol, try and clear it up for next year. We miss you, buddy. I mean, you're a lot of fun at a game. You really are. My number 3 is the aforementioned me watching BadMike's booth, which BadMike always seems to get me to do every year for a little while anyway. He always says, I'll make it worth your while, but I never collect on it. I don't know why. But talking to Andrew Larius, who was one of 2 people who came to the con from Ireland. You
got to talk to one of those guys.
Yes, I didn't get to talk to the other one, and I'm sorry, but Andrew, we had a nice little conversation at the booth here, and he said he came. He said this is their first American convention. And they came basically because we talked a lot about it on this show.
I really do hope that they enjoyed themselves. And
I wish we'd have gotten a chance to meet him.
Oh yeah, he was kind of quiet, but he said since I've talked to him on Facebook, he had a ball. He just absolutely loved it.
Yay.
Everyone's quiet compared to you, Glenn.
But Andrew and your buddy, whoever, I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you, but hey, come on back next year. You will
yes.
Please.
We'll try to actually arrange a meeting or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Sit around and say hi or something.
Yeah. So that's my number
right.
3.
Well, for the missing BadMikes, number 3, they have instituted a special guest award, which for next year they are giving to Jeff Talanian, Matt Finch, and Bill Webb as every year supporters of the con, both as, I assume, as company people and as individuals. So they're going to be the first recipients of that, and I guess it's also a great way to ensure they show up.
That's right.
It's not a con until Matt Finch stands on his chair to GM.
Yeah, they're also doing it as special fan gifts, awards to supporting fan people, which, of course, Alan Groh,
Yay.
Bill Barsh,
Yeah.
are going to be, getting their special membership to attend, which is pretty cool. All right, and my number 2. Should I leave that in number 1? My only criticism, and it's a really mild one, is that I don't know if it was just my luck or the way the restaurant was working with everybody, but it seemed to take them an awful long time to serve food. And whenever I thought we have half an hour to eat, I'll go to the restaurant and get something, I never got it on time.
Yeah, that's true.
I usually had to grab it and eat it while at the table, or tell them I'll come back and pick it up,
Yeah, I went to the Dallas and Space game on Friday night with my dinner from the restaurant because they actually served it, right before I needed to be there. So they were bringing the plates out, and I said, I need a to-go box now.
Yeah. Well, at 5, Ben and I went to the restaurant before the game at 6 for the BattleTech game Friday. And I had to basically, the moment they brought the food out, we had to throw it in a styrofoam, so we made the game because I didn't get fit. Now, granted, that was around dinner time, so I suppose I can understand that, but I thought an hour, surely, would be enough time.
Yeah, we got there plenty early.
I'll tell you,
it's a minor gripe. God knows there's other places, you can get food or bring food and stuff. But, it was a minor hiccup.
I'll tell you my secret, but they were making fun of me for it. The 7-Eleven around the corner. That's where I was getting half my grub.
I believe it.
We bought a lot of our stuff. I mean, Liz, of course, brought those brownies and had sandwich meat, bread, fruit. We had tons of stuff in there. And they did provide, a fridge for the room gratis. So
yeah, you have to ask for the fridge. It doesn't, it's not there automatically in your room. But if you tell the front desk you would like to have a mini fridge,
I'll remember that.
They will bring that up, and it is not an extra charge. You just have to know to ask for it.
Yep.
And now that I've said that, next year we're not going to be able to get one because everybody will have asked for a fridge before we show up.
Way to go, Liz. You just blew the whistle on the secret menu.
I know. Maybe
7-Eleven?
people will forget. It's a whole year before the next con.
All right. Your number 2, Liz?
Okay. My number 2, way bigger gaming area than before. This year, the games were not only in the, big main dealer room area and, the usual boardrooms, but they also spilled out into the atrium, which last year had been open for open gaming. But a lot of the scheduled games were out in the atrium this year. So it's getting a lot bigger. There's a lot more to choose from. There's, just so much going on. That really just jumped out at me as to how much bigger this convention is getting from year to year. That, we spilled over into the atrium this year, and like I think Mike said earlier, next year the entire hotel is going to be dedicated just to us, because that is how big we are getting.
You deserve it.
Yeah, it overlapped a little. It overlapped a little the first day with the HP convention, but that worked out for me.
That's at HP.
I had a good HP breakfast that morning.
Thank you, Hewlett-Packard. They ought to be good for something.
Oh,
All right, Jim, or was that your second?
No, I'm sorry. I keep doing that. I apologize. My second is simple and easy. D&D pinball and arcade games at the con. Holy crap. That was awesome.
Yeah, I wish I could have participated with those.
I forgot that when we were doing Thaco's Hammer that Brian is a pinball nut. And I showed him the back glass and that pinball machine that was there. He's, really? You got to play that? Oh, my God. It's like, Brian, don't have a baby.
Come next year.
Thaco's Hammer reference.
Come next year, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good way to get him to hopefully show up.
I tell you the truth. They've already mentioned, both him and Corey said they may be able to swing it next year, so they may be there.
That would be cool.
And with Full On coming down, it'd be all, hey, Thaco's Hammer's in the house. All right.
And for listeners who we kept saying Full On was making it, wasn't making it, was making it, he did end up making it.
Yes.
For a night with his son.
Along with his son, and Liz and I were with his in a Castles and Crusades game with his son Saturday night.
Okay.
I totally missed him. I didn't even see him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Full On was at Glenn's table, and we were just sort of catty-corner to them, and Full On's son was at our table.
Anyway.
So that's yours, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Glenn?
Okay, number 2. Snyder Man, how you doing? SavageAfterworld.blogspot.com. Great. That Thundar game you ran was absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
Demon Dogs.
I so wanted to play it.
We played in Saturday morning, and I got to play Thundar.
Man, I just knew there was no way I was going to be able to get up early enough to make that game. So did not even try signing up for it, but I wanted to.
Oh yeah, and the only thing that was better than that was Matt played Ookla.
Woohoo!
He does stuff.
So it wasn't just a game in the world. Y'all were literally playing the characters.
Yes, and some guy was playing Princess Ariel. It was a hoot. It was. I mean, I had at one point. Okay, there was this wizard trapped between dimensions. He's trying to get the missile in the Smithsonian for his.
Did you guys fight the guy with 2 faces and his head rotates?
Oh, you mean Gemini? No, he wasn't there. Okay. This is a different sorcerer. But we were fighting Kirox, which is Crocodile Men, and Ookla threw a car through the wizard, who was in another dimension, so it went right through him. But then he threw a Kirok, and it went into his dimension. So Ookla and the other mock gets the idea of, okay, we kill a whole bunch of Kiroks, strap them on the missile, and throw that in there.
Okay.
And I had to, as Thundar, I had to say, we are going on a Kirok hunt before the leader of the village go, well, no, we got a better idea. Wait a minute.
Perfect example of why some story ideas may not end the way you thought they would when you let player characters at them.
Did you get an opportunity to say, Ookla, Ariel, right!
He did the setup, and he would not let the game go on until I said that.
Excellent.
And and when we took breaks, he had his tablet right there. He played the beginning of the show on a video.
Oh, Michael Curtis did that with the Dallas in Space game.
Yeah. And then during the break, he would play. He had other videos of those 70s kids commercials, Saturday morning commercials.
Oh, so he had commercial breaks.
Yes, one of which was the D&D commercial.
Woohoo!
Cool.
That is an entire case of awesome sauce.
Use your lightning bolt. It is yours. It's like, oh man! And they had like a
Where are the Cheetos?
Yeah.
Oh wait, wrong video.
They had a Count Chocula commercial and these crappy toys he used to buy and all this other stuff. And every time we broke, it'd start with NBC. We'll be right back.
Cool.
It was just Snyder. You outdid yourself. I want to play it again. And also, if you go to Savage Afterworld, he uploaded the Wizard's Graveyard, the game that we played. He uploaded on there on PDF for people to download. Mm. And he gave me a copy of the Thundar supplement, which he signed. Thank you.
Okay,
I'm good.
Cool. All right. Well, for BadMike's number 2, he really was happy that Vince and Glenn did the sort of kind of live broadcast from the con.
Recorded live in front of a studio audience.
Yeah, and trying to have a convention audience.
And
and is hoping that to have a separate area set aside again to try to do next year.
I don't know if I can get that drunk that quick again.
That's between you and your bartender.
That's true. No, I wasn't drunk, but it was like it was weird times. Oh man. We had problems. If you listen to it, you hear echo problems and things like that. And Steve Marsh gets, my God, I wanted to give him a hanky at one point. When he started talking about the old days, I thought he was just going to you okay? But I'm glad who came and talked to us, and we'll do it again next year.
Well, when you and Vince were interviewing me, you were making me tear up too, but for different reasons.
Oh, that bad, huh?
Yeah, and Vince was wrong. I was the one that finally told Liz, they're not going to stop anytime soon. Let's go.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like
she didn't drag me away. I dragged her away.
Well,
wait, all together now. We love you, Vince.
We love you, Vince.
Well, it's like the three of us stopped talking, and I said, well, thanks for coming by, Jim. And Vince goes, oh, you tried to bum rush him off the show? I said, no, he just...
No, you had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and I was out of material, so...
The joy of sort of live.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my favorite, and this was tough because I really enjoyed the CNC game Saturday night, but at least when Tyler didn't have to go try to sell product. But my fave was buying a game at the silent auction.
Ooh.
A game that I had wanted for 30 years.
Wow. What was
30
that?
years. I was 1984 at Allen's Comics and Games in Longview, Texas. I remember someone passing around a flyer he had gotten at his Baptist church for a Christian fantasy role-playing game.
Dragon Strike.
No, Dragon Raid.
Oh, you're right.
Dragon Raid by Adventures in Learning, written by, and I'm not making this name up, Dick Wolf.
And now he's doing Law and Order, yes.
And the game was supposed to be save you from evil satanic D&D by playing this game instead, and it had a cassette tape with it and other things for it. The box set was $120 in 1984.
And the Christians wonder why they didn't get into role.
And we're all kind of going, this would be great to read through, but there's no way we're paying $120. I won't pay $120 today for a game. I'm sure I wasn't going to do it 30 years ago when I was 15.
What did you get? What did you pay for it at the auction?
$25.
Nice.
And one of the books is still in shrink wrap. The rest is in very good condition. The cassette I have not tried playing yet, but it looks in good shape. And I've already scanned one of the books in.
Dude, you win. I mean, I horse traded for a copy of Chainmail, and that's nothing compared to what you scored. You win. You won the internet.
And I almost didn't go to the silent auction. Liz and I were trying. It was between the two times we went over to see if there was any room for Liz and I to join Vince and Glenn at the show. So it's like the first time he was interviewing, I think it was Steve Marsh. So we're like, okay, well, let's go kill some time. And I guess let's go see what's over at the silent auction.
I love this.
Probably nothing any good. And then Liz read me that, and I'm like, oh my God. No pun intended.
I saw what you did.
I must have that game.
So did you get a chance to read any of it?
No, I have just finished scanning all the Wargamers Digests BadMike sent me, and I just last night scanned the first book.
Okay.
I do know it's kind of C.S. Lewisian.
So
Narnia.
Hang
Might
on.
not be a bad thing.
You're not going to play this game, are you? Because it's dangerous. I mean, you start playing that game, and soon you won't be able to do this podcast anymore.
Yeah, well, it could happen, but I might risk it for a one-shot.
Yeah, you have to do it next year.
Apparently, I did find out instead of spells, you have something called word runes.
Mm-hmm.
and they have spell-like effects, but in order to have them work, you have to quote correctly a particular Bible verse, which I guess is where the religious
So it's like D&D and the D&D trivia game rolled up into one.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's D&D and the Bible trivia game rolled up.
Yeah, and the name of the company is Adventure Learning System.
Oh.
So,
the whole idea, they don't even really, in the books, they don't really advertise it much as a role-playing game. They advertise it as a simulation and Bible learning game.
Okay, I get the high price point now. Yeah. They're thinking like people in the youth groups or pastors and stuff buying it and playing it with their the
or
kids.
Parents who are terrified of their kids becoming Satanists.
Right.
Willing to slog out $120, which would be probably about almost $300 today in today's dollars.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to tell you, there is a website for the game.
Really?
Even now.
Yeah, dragonraid.net.
Okay,
wow.
we're putting that in the show notes on the website.
Okay, don't let me forget that.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Mike, you've got to run this next year. You've got to run.
I don't know if it might work as a con game or not, but
you've got to. I want to take pictures, do audio, video, whatever the hell, and put it up on Facebook.
Easy now, there.
If he's running anything, he's running Victorious.
Well, both.
Yeah, and we're not going to be running BattleTech again next year.
Wow, you even said that like you had a leather corset on.
That's right.
Well, Ben's not running BattleTech next year?
A couple of the guys in the game begged to be allowed to run it next year, and they have been there for all 6 years too. So Ben and I said, "Well, why not? Let them do it." Because the main thing is Ben wants to play BattleTech, and
so Ben's still coming.
Oh yeah.
It's just let's give them a chance to do it. Why not?
Then I will try and get full on there on the day you're doing it instead of like the day after.
Okay, well, of course, it's totally up to those two guys. So who knows what day they're going to decide to do it? They just said they would do it, and Ben offered to help them with it and everything. So
to activate your mech, you must now quote scripture.
But from which Bible?
Okay, that's your next con game, Mike. Victorious Dragon Raid.
Ooh. Well, you can't get more Christian than the Victorian era.
True.
Probably not, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, Liz, you're number one?
Number one.
Oh, that's right. We're doing a show. I forgot.
No, we're not just BSing here. We're doing a show.
There is a show here. Okay.
There's a method to this madness.
My number one, BadMike's B1 game on Thursday night.
Yes.
I love that game so much. I have not always been able to sign up in time for it because, as Glenn said earlier in the show, the spaces go almost immediately. But yeah, I really enjoy that game. It's hands down, it's always one of the most fun times I have the entire weekend is playing that game.
In his list, BadMike said that was one of the things he wanted to bring up was that awesome B1 game, but then he kind of threw it to you and Glenn and says, Liz and Glenn can tell you about it.
That's right. He doesn't need to mention it. We'll sing its praises for him.
Jim can talk about it too since he played last.
I screwed up this year, but I will definitely be in it if I can get in it next year.
I have never been in it.
Yeah,
that's because you're too busy drinking with Ben.
Well, I tried one year, but I couldn't.
Well, so. I sign up for both of us because it's not very blind friendly, the sign up. And since, you're trying to do it quickly, if Mike was having to navigate through the screen reader and everything, going through the game grid to find, where he wanted to be, he wouldn't get into anything.
That's something I wish Mike had been here because I would like to have told him, they're doing the early bird registration for $45 till the end of July or August 1st, I think.
July 31st is the last day.
July 31st, yeah.
I'll be there.
Before the $50 charge, and I told him, or I wanted to tell him, another thing you could do for early bird people is let them sign up maybe 24 hours earlier than everyone else. That would be an incentive to get that early bird membership, wouldn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, so...
But he's not here, so I can't.
Yeah, so I sign up for myself and for Mike. And by the time I've signed up for me, even if I say I sign up for BadMike's B1 game, if I immediately log out, log in as Mike, and try to sign him up, it's already full. There's no way. So yeah.
If Mike wanted to play and he showed up, I don't see any. BadMike would let him.
No. Last year, not this year, but the year before, BadMike said he couldn't because it had gotten so big.
Yeah, he had already promised a couple of other people that he would let them in above and beyond the 8 people. He said, "I'm really sorry, but I don't think I can, squeeze in a third extra person." Otherwise, I think he would have.
Here's my offer to you, Mike. If I get in the game next year and you try and don't, I'll give you my slot.
No, that's okay. I mean, at this point, to be honest, I don't like playing with 10 people. I feel like I get kind of lost. I don't like that big a group anyhow.
11 if you count Glenn twice.
Yeah. I get to, and Liz gets to go game while I hang out with my old middle school friend, which I only see once a year at the con. So,
I've got to get in next year because it'll be my fifth and last. So.
Okay. Jim?
Oh yeah, we're doing a show. I can remember. All right.
Oh yeah. No.
I saved this for number 1 because I'm as serious as a heart attack about this. Besides everything we've said all show long about how great a job Doug and Mike did organizing this thing, there's a thing that I experienced there that's above and beyond the normal game convention, and that's just the sense of family that the way they run this con and have organized it creates. And what I mean by that is, along with Gary Con and a couple other cons, I have like real life friends, not just guys I know from online and not just guys I game with at conventions, but like real life friendships that these cons are the places where we get to meet because we're scattered all over the country. I mean, Zach Glazer, Michael Curtis, Doug Kovacs, John Hirschberger, Harley Stroh, who wasn't there this year, but will be probably again next year. I mean, I see Tim all the time, and it's two things to me. It's the game con to go to, and it's my chance to hang out with my dudes. And that includes you guys, because I started out as a fan of this show and then got on the show because I just liked you guys, and you guys are the reason I went to the first North Texas Con, was just so I could game with you guys.
Aww.
So it's all your fault.
Hey, Mike, Liz, did I tell you what Jim did this year when I first got there?
No.
The first thing he did was walk up to me and slap onto my chest a copy of the Ready Ref sheets, and he goes, "Okay, now shut up."
Well done.
I'm sure he said it with love, though.
Oh yeah, it's always with love. Always with love.
I love you, man. But you still can't have my Bud Light.
That's my overly sentimental number 1 thing.
Cool. All right, Glenn, you're number 1.
Okay, here it comes. This is a precedent. This is a moment to savor. This was my very first scheduled game for any con that I ran.
And you lived.
And I lived.
Just barely.
And I thrived. The Castle of the Howling Dead, which is a title I pulled out of my sphincter.
Thank you.
Was great.
He did
say
that.
That game you collapsed in.
He did say the castle held.
Yep.
That's true. It did, didn't it?
He put his all into the game.
Oh yeah. It was fun. It was a real encyclopedia game. Vince was there. He played for maybe an hour or so, and I'm bored. I'm going. So my friend Jimbo from my group picked up his character. And I always know, if Full On Gamer is sitting at my table, I'm not going to have a dull game. Ever. He played a thief, and he was as thievy as they come. Thievy as they come. Another thing I had, shout out to Justin Elena Gracia Davis, who played a couple of characters in there, and they were a lot of fun. They're like, I just like talking to them. They're like the friends, like you were talking about, Jim, the friends I get to see only once a year. They're down in Houston, I'm here, so it's kind of It's kind of a stretch. But it was a great game. We had a lot of fun. And all of a sudden, Olivia's at my elbow asking me if I want stuff. Oh, yeah, I'm a DM. I could do that. Oh, yeah, get me a Pepsi. Okay, fine. That's all I did was get me a Pepsi all night. Yeah, and we got to finish the game. They killed the bad guy, and it was just great. I'm going to do it again next year, maybe with RC, maybe with Tunnels and Trolls. I haven't decided. But and I gave the Davises my copy. I had the rule cyclopedia that Frank and Jeff Easley signed.
Oh,
Cool.
So now I have 2 copies instead of 3. They did a good job, and they said they had a copy, but this was signed, and I wanted to kind of pay it forward a bit. You know what I mean? I get a lot of nice stuff from people gratis. I got some stuff at the show gratis. Oh, and Zach Glazer and Lloyd did not play in my game. And Zach walked up to me before I started the game. I'm sorry, man. I'm just too kind of fried to do this. So here, and he slaps a Taural Brood Source miniature in my hand.
Okay.
And I go, okay. It's like, Zach, thanks. You ought to bow out on my games more often. I got a cheesy grin on my face right now. So, but I'm sorry they couldn't play. Maybe next year. Yeah, and Lloyd was trying to get that painting done, that he'd been working on all weekend. But we had a ball. It was easy, and just to make it seem like it was a con that I was at, I managed to face plant myself on the floor going around the table by tripping on Full-On's backpack.
yeah. It's like we didn't see what caused you to fall, but we heard the boom.
It was Full-On. It was Full-On's backpack.
Now is
The
Full-On's
whole tower, the whole gaming hall just kind of went silent. It was like, what?
now is Full-On's backpack like that magic beagle that jumped in front of all of us when we were 16 and wrecked the family car?
I think so. No, he had it next to his chair, and I was trying to get around to draw on the map, and boom, boom, and I got down and I got immediately up, and the first thing I saw was Frank Menzer staring at me like, "Are you?" I said, the first thing I said, "Frank, I'm all right. I'm all right. See, okay,
Nothing broken.
nothing broken." It's like
I'm okay.
he gave me one of those looks like, "We can't take you anywhere."
So your real number one this year is no medical bills from the con.
Yes, that's right. I said next year I'm going to come to the con, and the first thing I'm going to do is trip and fall and fly out on my face. So, okay, I got it over with. We can go on to the convention.
That's
Dun-da-da.
right. Get it out of the way first thing, and
But thank you guys for playing the game. Thank you, Mike and Doug, for having the con, and that's my number one.
All right. Well, I assume this is BadMike's number one, even though we kind of split it into two. His
Okay.
2 faves. One were the serving wenches in shorts and Liz in the leather corset.
Woohoo!
And tied with that was his fun at doing the Satanic Panic midnight auction in the devil outfit, where they auctioned off, among other things, Dark Dungeon cartoon strips, the
man.
chick comics.
Chick track.
I'd rather have the game, but yeah.
Yeah. Anything TSR with demon or devil in the title, or hell. And, of course, both DVD and VHS copies of Mazes and Monsters.
Mazes and Monsters. And anybody who did go to the auction, because I missed it because I got sucked into an Edition Wars game with Full-On, did Mike actually wear a matching Speedo? He said he was going to. I'm just wondering, anybody out there know?
Yeah, we didn't make it.
Tell
So.
us.
Yeah, don't
I
write
didn't
in and tell
know
us,
about
because without a picture, it didn't happen. Send a picture to us.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And I didn't even know it was happening until after the con. So hopefully if they do it again next year, we can actually go bid. Because I'd like a copy of Mazes and Monsters. Liz wouldn't. I've got the book, but I don't have the movie. No pardue for Liz, I'm afraid.
That's right. I've had enough of that.
So if somebody just happened to find a video file of that, you would enjoy it.
He would enjoy it. Only he would enjoy
I wonder
it.
if it had a blooper reel.
See, I'm sorry, Mike, I can't help you out. The Kobo Queen says no.
And well,
Well,
I
hey, if it's
understand.
something, if it's something he can watch on his computer alone, that'd be fine.
anyway, well, those
Really?
are
That's
top
the-
five.
That's the only criteria. Just something he can watch on his computer alone.
That's right. That I do not have to be subjected to.
He can watch a lot of things on his computer alone.
Yes, he can.
Yeah.
And he's welcome to do so whenever he wishes.
Then let's move on to products of your imagination to actually give some review dragons to this con.
Okay.
Your dungeon master has placed you in a dreadfully precarious position.
Where are the Cheetos?
They're right next to you.
Well, all you do is we play the characters we talked about earlier when we run around and stuff.
I want to show you a trick Mother showed me when you weren't around.
Use your lightning bolt. Victory is yours.
I'm attacking the darkness.
Dungeons and Dragons game. Products of your imagination.
You're not there. You're getting drunk.
Oh ye! Products of your imagination. Now we'll actually talk about it as a convention and give it some rating. I mean, we've talked about it as a convention,
Yes.
but compared to other conventions. I guess the only one I could think of that would really compare, quote unquote, to it would be either Gary Con or OSR Con up in Canada. Am I missing any that I don't know about? I mean, I've heard of Gamehole Con, but I don't know anybody that's been to it.
Mike and Doug were going to go this year just to give them some support. So
all I can say is I've never run a con myself. I've helped with a con, and that is a thankless job. I wouldn't do it. And Doug seems to put out a lot of money for a lot of swag for this con. I can't think of any con I've ever been to where you get so many goodies just as part of your membership packet.
Well, it's clear.
yeah,
It's clear they do it for the love of the hobby and not to make money.
Oh, that's
plus he gets swag on top of that from the companies for like prizes and auction stuff too.
Yeah. Liz?
Well, comparing it to prior North Texases, as I think we all said, it just keeps getting bigger and better. And quite frankly, I don't see how they manage to keep coming up with things to up the bar. I keep thinking, okay, they're going to top out at this one, and then next year they do something else and they surprise me.
Yeah, and the hotel is, for the price, a nice deal.
Yes.
Could you get a better hotel? Well, maybe, but then you're going to price out most everybody.
Yeah.
From coming. I think its location to the airport is good. It's very few problems. I think it was great. Anyone else have any other commentary about it?
Well, I know that you're right. It's like every year I think, I know they're going to level out at some point. I'm just hoping they level out at such a high level that other cons would aspire to that.
Yeah.
And as far as I know Doug and BadMike has talked about topping out the membership at $350 or $400. And I used to go, oh, really? Like that. But now I kind of can get behind that, because if they got any bigger than that, they'd have to find another hotel, and you wouldn't get the same kind of deal that you get here. You'd be into paying a lot more registration and hotel costs. And it's just such a perfect fit as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. It's a very good venue, and it's just priced to where you're not going, oh my God, for the room price.
Yeah, they were doing $107 a night, folks.
Yeah, and that's not bad at all for the quality of the hotel that we were at. There were a lot of amenities, everything was nice, the staff was nice, and of course, because it is so close to the airport, you get the added bonus of, if you're flying in, you can just take a shuttle directly to the hotel and then directly back to the airport. You don't have to worry about renting a car or any of that stuff unless you just want to do sightseeing in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
And some of them do. I mean, Matt took the night off, I think Friday night. He took his wife and his kid and Jimbo, and they went to Medieval Times. So
that's always fun.
Yeah, there's always stuff like that to do. And if you get in on early bird registration for the con, you got it made.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can't heap any more praise on this or she's going to blow. So I'm going straight to 6 dragons.
I will say, again, we're getting to opinions here again. If you are the type of person that likes huge cons, you probably won't like North Texas.
Well, I would
so
say
be clear there, because I think they had maybe 250 people this year, something like.
If you are looking for a Gen Con experience, you are not going to get it at North Texas.
Or Dragon Con or Origins. And there's nothing wrong. If you enjoy those huge venues, that's great.
Go for it, yeah.
But if you're looking for that, then North Texas may not be for you.
I think the term that was bandied around between Mike, Doug, and everybody else was boutique con.
Yeah, I can see that.
Smaller ones.
I'd call it Make a Friend for Life Con.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can get behind that too.
I mean, as I've said before, it's big enough that if you ever want a game or anything, you can always find something going on, but small enough that you can see people you know and you're not just lost in the crowd. Except for Liz and I missing Satanic Panic Auction on Saturday night. Okay.
Darn it all.
Darn it all. I guess I should be thankful he didn't keep Dragon Raid for that auction.
Oh, yeah.
Instead put it in the silent auction. So,
yeah, you
anyway.
never would have gotten it then.
Indeed. Yeah,
I didn't get anything in silent auction this year.
Not even
weird. Well, they didn't have as much.
Well, they had all that Tunnels and Trolls stuff.
I already had most of it.
Yeah, I had about half of it, but I got it.
Solos really don't interest me anyway. They had that one other card game, the D&D Deckmaster thing, but Matt snapped that up.
Yeah, I had thought about that, but for my DM, but I called him up to see if he was interested before I bid on it, and he's like, nah. So we didn't bother.
Yeah. So now I got to bug Matt about it.
Yep. All right. Well, then, any other comments, or should we just go to Dragons?
Let's go to Dragons.
Yeah, let's go to Dragons.
All right. We'll start with Jim, since he's the curmudgeon-y one.
Oh, 6.
I've been promoted. Oh,
5 boy. And that one.
5 and that one. All right. Glenn?
5 dragons and a dragon egg.
Liz?
This is going to sound awfully repetitive and fangirlish, but yeah, I'd give it 5 dragons. I enjoy myself so much at this convention.
Well, I'm going to be the hard ass, so I'm going to say 4.5, and only because of the food.
Oh, the food?
No, the food. I can't hold them. Well, yeah, actually I can. But anyway.
Well, the only gripe I had about the food was those coupons they gave you. They didn't really explain them until after the con on the forum.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me. We didn't even get our coupons until Sunday morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, the envelope that had them, and everything, we got with our checkout stuff under the door. It's like, wow. Oh, so these are the coupons everybody was talking about.
You guys just need to hang more with me, because I wandered down Thursday morning. I'm like, oh, isn't this nice? They've got a con breakfast going. Oops, it's HP's breakfast, but I didn't know.
Yeah. Hey, I saw.
So you want to change your vote, Liz?
That happened to a couple.
No. I mean,
okay.
I still enjoyed myself immensely. Yeah. I had a super fun time.
All right, so that works out. Oh, hell, we'll just say 5.
See, I went with 6, just in case.
Yeah, to overcome Mike being a hard ass. So.
Well, that makes it 6, 12, 26 dragons. I count my dragon egg as a dragon.
Let's just say 5, since it's supposed to be 0 to 5.
Hey, okay. Counting your dragons before they're hatched. You know better.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's head down the road once again. The Con Road. Stretching out into the distance to North Texas RPG 2015.
Yeah.
And as we are all going to 2015, at least I hope so, how are we going, Glenn?
Oh, I'm running ahead trying to draw on the map of my game without face planting on the floor. On the ground, rather.
Jim?
I'm going down the road with my iPad clicking on the North Texas RPG Con website until I get into B1 next year.
And on the HP site to get into their breakfast for next year.
Yes.
Liz?
I'm going down the road, looking forward to the next victorious game, wearing my leather corset.
Woohoo! I think we can all get behind that. And I am not heading down the road at all. I'm instead quoting my word rune of Bible verse to simply teleport there. So,
and we are all averting our eyes because up ahead in the road there's BadMike in a devil costume wearing a Speedo. Ah!
Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you in the next episode of Save or Die.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
See ya!
Rearc. And we're out.
The Save or Die podcast is a production of Wild Games Productions in association with D20Radio.com. The Save or Die theme music is provided by the band Mississippi Bones. You can find them at MississippiBones.bandcamp.com. If you want the Save or Die podcasters at your next gaming convention, contact us. We also do parties, weddings, and bar mitzvahs. Ookla, Ariel, ride!